you can watch Joe Milton play him a half, play Will Grier a half, and if Joe Milton becomes the better quarterback or whatnot, if you say, hey, this guy's ready to play, but he's not ready to play.
What's up, world? Welcome in. It's the DLS Cowboys podcast, and we're joined by a special guest.
Who's coming?
The most athletic, the most athletic quarterback in Cowboys history, Babe Laufenberg.
Did you notice Brian Schottenheimer took a shot at me today?
That's why I'm trying to build you back up.
Yeah, thank you.
He said you knew nothing about being an athletic quarterback, and I'm like, hold on, man, you don't know. He just didn't know.
They don't rush you like they rushed the Joe Miltons, okay?
No, they did not. They never said let's contain him, keep him from running on the outside.
Yeah, but you also didn't miss your first 5 throws by combined 100 yards. You know what I'm saying?
That was not good, was it?
No,
it was not good.
It wasn't a good start for Joe Milton. Although, you know what? I want to start with this, and it's not the biggest story of camp, but I think it's interesting, and I think you asked the question at the press conference that I wanted to ask, but I don't think we're allowed to ask because we're not Clarence. If I raised my hand, Tad wouldn't know the name. He wouldn't introduce me.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I just sat back and stay quiet.
I had questions. But when you asked about backup quarterback, and I think you named Cooper Rush from last year, because last year Trey Lance got all the snaps.
Right.
He wasn't their backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Their backup quarterback didn't play in the preseason.
Right.
And so now they have a different guy, but I feel like we're doing the same bit where it's like we got this guy who's really talented. Yep. We want to see what we can get out of him. But if Dak didn't play tomorrow, I don't think that guy plays. So, like, do you dislike what they're doing right now? Because I think Will Grier would play tomorrow if they had a non-Dak game, and he's not getting to work.
Right. No, it's a balancing act. And yes, I want to see Joe Milton, but I also want to get Will Grier some time. And I'll go back, Will Grier, I believe, 5th or 6th year in the league, but he hasn't played a lot of football. He's had 2 starts. The notion that, okay, well, he's been around, he knows the offense, that's all great, but you got to play. You got to play in the preseason. And I'll go back. Hey, Joe Burrow, I think it was 2 years ago, he injured his calf, right? So he missed training camp, and he came back, and he said, I was rusty. I needed training camp. But we've seen, C.D. Lamb, when he held out, took him a couple games to get back into game action. Well, if you don't play Will Grier now, you don't get a couple games in the regular season, right? God forbid Dak goes down in week 3, 4, 5, whenever. Well, guess what? You don't get a chance to ramp up. You're out there. Right. So, in my mind, I mean, again, you can watch Joe Milton play him a half, play Will Grier a half, and if Joe Milton becomes the better quarterback or whatnot, if you say, hey, this guy's ready to play, but he's not ready to play.
Yeah.
Based on what we saw.
And Babe, at the beginning of his question, I did love this. He said, I'm a little confused.
Yeah. Well, I am.
And I'm confused too, because let's because to me,
wait a minute, you've been out here every day.
Right.
It's never been said that there's a quarterback competition going on.
Joe Milton's always gone too. He got the most of the reps, not just in the games, in practice.
Yeah.
Will Grier gets, peanuts. He gets peanuts.
Yeah.
And so
it's weird to pretend that Will Grier is so ready for NFL.
Right. You're right.
No, it's weird to pretend that Joe Milton is ready.
Well, they're pretending he's absolutely not.
But my point is this, and to me, it's always about the season. Yeah, training camp is about the season. Preseason is about preseason doesn't matter, but it does matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Dak has not been healthy since 2019. He's missed games every year.
He's healthy today.
He's missed games every year.
And he's not getting
the Cowboys had an ace in the hole in Cooper Rush. Joe Milton, not Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is not Joe Milton. Cooper Rush does not have Joe Milton's athleticism, arm talent, all that. But Cooper Rush could win games. Okay? He could win games. And that was, because when I say, Babe, you guys asked the question I was going to ask is that, what's the confidence level, considering we know Dak has not been healthy since 2019, that you have a quarterback that can win games as Dak's not in there? And that's Joe Milton and that's Will Grier, because Will Grier has not played. Just because he knows the offense, you've been around him, that don't mean he can win games. He couldn't beat out Cooper Rush. And again, Cooper Rush does not have the talent of Joe Milton, but Joe Milton cannot play quarterback.
Not
the way
as
Cooper
we
Rush
sit here
can play
today.
quarterback. Yes,
not as we sit here today.
It's a daily show. It's daily practice.
Can I challenge everything and then throw it to Babe? We're gonna go 1 to 2 to 1 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to
I love
2
it.
to 1.
I love it.
Because we use that word all the time.
What?
We use it with Trey Lance too, where we say he has all of the talent. Well, does can run fast and throw far? Does that mean you're more talented than can read defense and throw accurate ball?
Yes,
it does. More talented.
It does. Yeah, physical talent, for sure.
Right.
Now we all know that football is played 90%
up here,
from
especially
that
quarterback,
right? Especially at quarterback.
Yeah.
So the talent, physical talent,
Reading
yes,
an accurate throw, those aren't talent.
that's mental talent.
Okay.
That ain't
But you
physical
can
talent.
teach that.
All right.
God given is what Joe Milton has.
Yeah.
The
It's like
arm.
Usain Bolt is not a talented quarterback, but I
Who?
bet he can sling a football and he can run real fast.
Who?
But that's not a talented Usain
Usain
Bolt,
Bolt.
fastest man ever.
I bet he can't sling the ball.
I
Yeah,
probably
he can
can't
throw
sling the
it.
ball
He doesn't
either.
have
Oh,
arm
you don't think
talent.
crack guys
I mean,
ever mess
nah,
around
It's
football?
just like we see.
Okay, my
It's just
fault.
like we see football guys throw baseball. I mean, if you can't throw the ball, you
Des
can't.
Bryant. Des Bryant's not a talented quarterback. If he lined up there, would you say he was?
No,
He can run fast. He can
no.
throw the hell out of a ball.
Okay. So you're
I would say he's talented.
you're
Well-
you're nitpicking a point that don't really
Because I
matter.
like to.
I know a point that don't matter. But again, it's about getting a guy ready in case Dak gets hurt. And
Yes.
I don't know if you have a quarterback that can win games if Dak is hurt.
And unlike Trey Lance, who was obviously in the last year of his contract last year, and maybe you did want to find out about him, you've got this guy in a contract for 3 years. You have time to find out about him. And again, I was fine with putting him out and all that, but I think for me at least, and I don't know about you guys, that kind of slapped me in the face the other night that he's a long way off.
Yeah.
So-
and
and he did play-
I don't mean to jump in,
Nope, back
but
to
the
two.
one issue that we have, which we had with Trey Lance, is Jerry Jones. Before the game, on your station,
Uh-oh.
I really have to pitch myself that we got Trey Lance as the last game starting there in New England. I'm just excited we had a chance to get him.
Trey
And
Lance?
You mean
I'm sorry.
Joe Milton?
Oh,
Joe Milton.
no.
I'm sorry. I really just as Jerry Jones before the game.
Okay.
I really have to pitch myself that we got him after the last game that he had after starting against New England against backups in a meaningless game.
Right.
You know, he
Okay.
didn't say that.
I'm just excited. What's the truth?
That's
I'm
not
just
his quote.
excited we had a chance to get him. He hasn't disappointed, and we're just getting more and more encouraged by what we're seeing. It's the Jerry Jones factor, the same thing with Trey Lance, which is why we have to play him. And I'm sorry for jumping in. I'm just saying that's that fact you can't ignore.
Well, it goes talented. The arm is I've thrown next to John Elway. I've thrown next to Doug Williams, guys with huge arms, and you could put his arm against anybody.
Sure.
But Dragman and I always get a kick out of this, mostly him. You know, when you hear people say this guy can make all the throws, whoever this guy is, it's like, okay, geez, you're an NFL quarterback. If you can't make all the throws, you're not on a team. You're not in a camp. You're not. So the notion that, well, this guy can make all the throws, whoever this guy is, it's like, well, that's great. So can every other guy out there.
Will
Now
Grier
can
could
you-
have made him, and he wouldn't have missed those ones.
Well, now can you do the other stuff?
Yeah. But my question for you is we're talking about the quarterbacks and Joe Milton and Will Grier.
Right.
But the thing that really stuck out to me was because I like to take a man's words and his actions and put them together, see if they line up. And we've heard from day one from head coach Brian Schottenheimer that we're going to be a physical running football team. The first chance that you get to play physical football,
You throw six.
you throw it 6 times, right? Like, so, like he did Joe Milton no favors, right? Because like as a quarterback, and you've been in that position where all right, I get my chance. Do you want to go out there and sling that thing around the park, or do you want to be settled down a little bit and say, hey, let's hand this thing off, let's get a little play action, let me get some little dump offs, you know, like did Brian Schottenheimer handle that first situation with Joe Milton correctly?
Yeah, and it's a great question, and I think
I only ask great questions.
well, and as a quarterback, yes, you do want to go out. You want to show them what you got. You want to show them what you can do. Let's fling it around here. As a coach, you say, you know, let's settle this guy down a little bit, and then whoever that guy is, Joe Milton, whoever it is, let's settle him down. Let's get a little run. I always say in a preseason game, guys, how many times do you see the first play of the game, both teams, it's a boot. Bootleg, you know, fake, come out, roll, easy pass, get a little of the, you know, get flowing, get your legs going, and
because the linebackers are fired up too. They're screaming down. They're going to pull that thing, and
so you make your 5 yards. And I was waiting for the boot. Now the Rams did it on the second play of the game because I said to Brad Sham on the broadcast, I said, "Well, here comes the boot," and then they didn't do it, but then the second play they did. So maybe Sean McVay said, you know, they're going to be ready for the boot. Preseason game. But it is comical how many times you watch a game in the preseason and they start off with a boot, just a bootleg, just to settle guys.
Now you've been here from the beginning, and we've talked about the culture and the energy, and we've seen all the excitement. I didn't see the same energy in the game. I don't know if you saw the same energy from the team in the game. Does that stuff wear out? And Schotty talked about, you know, I asked about discipline and, you know, sideline substitution. Yeah, we love Schotty.
Yeah.
But this stuff wears off. And how you assess how he's prepared this team so far?
Well, I mean, the practices, you guys have been here. Practices have been good.
Right.
I mean, they've been physical. They've been
Right.
up tempo. They've been relatively short.
Right.
So guys know they're getting off the field. But no, I think, so far so good. But as we know, they're going to kick it off September 4th in Philly, and all the culture and the camaraderie and the bonding is out the window when you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Which they're not going to, of course.
no.
We
no.
hope.
But that's the
We
problem is they've been physical in practice, but when they played against the Rams in the scrimmage in the game, they got their ass
Yeah.
kicked. They didn't
But
tackle
now, in
all that
fairness-
stuff. Where's that stuff? And you beat each other up, but where's it
Yeah.
against the other team?
But in fairness, as we know, the guys that you saw, that everyone saw Saturday against the Rams, there won't be the guys on the field, right? I mean, you're not playing your starters, so that all remains to be seen. But it's like anything. I mean, he's won the press conferences. We know that. Right. I mean, here's Brian Schottenheimer, to me, went from, the hell are they thinking? The guy hasn't been interviewed in 12 years.
Right.
He was part of the staff that went 7-10 last year, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, I liked his initial press conference. And all of a sudden we like him in the media because he answers things. He's entertaining. He's forthright with his answers. He's honest. So now all of a sudden we're, hey, kind of like this Brian Schottenheimer. And, and then again, the season starts. And then I did tell him the one day, I said, listen, coach, Bill Walsh did not become a head coach until he was 47.
Right.
He was kind of viewed, he was in Cincinnati. Paul Brown was the head coach. Paul Brown retired and named Tiger Bill Johnson the head coach. Bill Walsh was the offensive coordinator, and they had great offenses there in Cincinnati.
Right.
But Paul Brown didn't feel like he was head coaching material. Thought he was this great offensive coach, but didn't think he could command the team. So Bill Walsh went to Stanford.
Boy, those Browns in Cincinnati have been making bad decisions for a very long time.
Yeah,
man.
so,
What if Schotty, when he was done, was like, I'm naming the next head coach of the Cowboys? That seems pretty wild.
I know. Well, Paul Brown owned.
Well, he owned it.
He owned it.
Oh, okay.
So
So he was coaching and owning?
yes.
Oh, that's what Jerry wants.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Hey, it's been done before. But anyway, so, we know what Bill Walsh became.
Right.
I'm not saying Brian Schottenheimer's Bill Walsh, but just because he hasn't got a job up till now doesn't mean he can't do the job, in my opinion. And the other part, the flip side of that is, how many of these head coaches, how many coaches have gotten head coaching jobs where you say, Joe Judge, the list goes on and on. It's just been, geez, well, what were they thinking? So the fact that he's been passed over for these other people doesn't necessarily mean that he can't do the job, because they've been wrong, obviously, in hiring all these other coaches as well.
You made a comment earlier, and I kind of want to piggyback off that. You're talking about playing time, right? Like, we came into this preseason game. You're older than I am.
Hey,
But I come and came up through this game old school, right? So guys played in the preseason.
Oh, yeah.
So what you saw last week against the Rams, where they had 30 guys. They didn't suit up. And Jeff and I have had this conversation. I'll dance with you in the conversation that Dak shouldn't play. Okay. I'll dance with you there. I'll dance with you there. Even though I still feel like, what has he done that hasn't deserved that he deserved not to play somewhat? A little bit. Right? I'll dance with you a little bit when you say guys like CeeDee Lamb shouldn't play. We'll dance. Well, we can have that tango. You're a rookie? Tyler Booker?
Oh. Hunter Lipke doesn't need a jersey.
Lipke doesn't need a jersey. Cooper Beebe doesn't need a jersey. Sam Williams doesn't need a jersey.
Yeah.
The list goes on. Kavontae Turpin. The list goes on and on and on of a bunch of guys.
The Tyler Booker thing surprised me.
Yeah, is Schotty setting a precedent with how he's kind of doing this? What was your initial approach and thought process about that?
Sean McVay was the first head coach to just sit everybody. And then it became fashionable. It's like Christian McCaffrey was the first guy to say, I'm not playing in a bowl game. I'm not playing in our bowl game. And everybody, boy, is football important to him? Is this? And now nobody plays in the bowl game unless you're playing
national
in the bowl championship deal. So McVay did it, and I think everybody else said, hey, that's a pretty good idea. But, Andy Reid still plays his starters. Starters played series or two in the first game there for Kansas City. So everybody does it differently. And I always say, I would play my starters until you can tell me one's going to get hurt. If you tell me Dak's going to get hurt on the 13th play, I would say, well, you know what? Let's just give him 12. but it is interesting too. Going back,
That'll be interesting.
I'll go into the way back time, right? You talk old school. I'm playing for the San Diego Chargers, 1988. We're playing the Cowboys. We're in San Diego, preseason game, first preseason game of the year. So I go out and I go in maybe the fourth quarter, get the fourth quarter, and we were down. And this is not a self-aggrandizement. Look at me.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
no, it's not that. This is what it is, though. So we're down like 21-3. We moved down, scored touchdown.
Storm them back, babe.
21-10. Get the ball back. Another touchdown.
Oh, they better not take you out. They better not take you
21-17. I go back. No, it's not that they took me out. I go back out. We huddle. So I've got my 2s and 3s and 4s or whatever we had. And we break the huddle, and I come up to the line. And I'm under center at that point. And I look. And, again, we're playing the Cowboys. And there's 72 in the game.
Which one was that?
That'd be Too Tall Jones.
Okay, yeah.
I look over my center. There's 54, Randy White.
Okay, that's tough.
Tom Landry put all his starters back in the game.
I like
He
it.
wasn't trying to lose.
No, and they had come off, I think, like a 3-13 year, and I think they were trying to. But could you imagine today?
You go score on them or what?
Well, we did. We beat him.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Hey,
Little Lionel James. Anybody remember Lionel?
Yes,
Little
of course.
train?
Yes, of course.
Steve Diasse on a little option route. We
I
win.
remember him.
But anyway, just could you imagine today, Brian Schottenheimer putting, okay, here's a drive against, the Rams are going to drive down, get the game winner in that first preseason game. We're going to put all our starters.
That's right. What if that's how they announce the Micah contract? He comes out when you're down
Oh,
by
that's
3
great.
points.
Oh, that's
You get
great.
him on third down.
That's
He
great.
just comes screaming out there.
I swear to God, though, I got up to the line, so I didn't know they were in. You know, you're not watching substitutions. We break our huddle, we get the ball on the last drive. I come up and I'm like, I always wanted to call timeout
It's like,
and say,
oh,
Coach Landry, what really? What are you,
yeah.
my center is wearing number 19, and
Miles Austin out there.
you've got these. Yeah, that's right. My center was 19. I'm like, you're not making the team.
Center.
Yeah, well, hey, great rep too.
Would you agree though that if you're an offensive lineman and they give you 19, you're probably not going to make the team?
That's what
Now you can't even wear
You
those.
should be filling out applications on the day off. Like,
Yeah, we're running out of time here. We're gonna tell you thank you and goodbye.
Oh.
But I thought of that while I was watching the preseason game when 48 started making plays. I was like, 48 Zion Childress. He's a corner. He's wearing 48. That's not good, but he's making plays. That is good.
Right,
Like,
right.
maybe he's got a chance. Babe Laufenberg, you're the absolute best.
Oh, thank you guys. The other one, very quickly, I remember Dorrance Armstrong in camp.
Mm-hmm.
He was 74.
Yeah, it's a hideous number.
But no, you're not going to.
you're not 74 in the season.
Yeah.
So I said,
Oh, you're saying
yeah.
Bob Lilly,
Yeah.
man.
It's-
Bob
it's-
Lilly.
it's
I
never
know
been-
y'all respect old guys.
I don't know the numbers.
No,
It's
y'all
never-
don't.
it's never been worn
Bob Hayes.
by anyone other than Mr. Cowboy, Bob Lilly.
And you didn't think Dorrance deserved it?
And he said,
Sir.
so I was talking to him, and he said, I really don't like 74. I said, don't worry about it. You're not going to be wearing it when the season